Hello, dear colleagues. My name is Nadia. I think we can start our session today. First of all, thanks everyone for joining this conference. The topic of the conference is PKI, multiple use cases, single point of management. Indeed Identity, I would like to thank Real Security for help in organizing this webinar. And before we start, I would like to pay attention to a couple of organizational moments. First of all, as you have noticed, your microphones are switched off. If there are any questions, please write them in a special bar. It's called questions, and we will answer them accordingly. Also, we'll be making a video conference, a video record of the conference. It will be sent to you shortly after the demonstration. When the conference ends, you'll be asked to complete a short survey. We would be very grateful to receive your feedback to the webinar. So if you have a spare moment, please feel free to answer these questions. Today's webinar will be held by two people. As I told you, my name is Nadia and I'm the account manager of Indeed Identity. Today we are also joined by Nikolay Lazitskiy. He is the leading support engineer of Indeed Identity. He will be making the technical presentation of our product. So basically, who we are. Indeed Identity is a Lithuanian software vendor. We develop a line of products meant to manage smart card life cycle, uses authentication and access to the company's information resources, and privilege access to the company's privilege access. The company's leading experts and analysts have been working in information security for more than 12 years. During this period, the company successfully implemented more than 150 projects for customers from different economic spheres: telecommunication, financial institutions, oil and gas companies, energy and manufacturing industries, retail companies, government agencies. There are three main areas of our expertise. They are multi-factor authentication, privilege access management, and PKI management. But today we will be talking about PKI management specifically. As we all know, public key infrastructure is a very powerful tool, allowing the use of digital signatures and encryption across large organizations. Interesting fact, in 2016, 27% of companies issue from 1,000 to millions or more digital certificates from their own certificate authorities. Just imagine how much time and efforts are required for this process. To manage a large number of certificates and to avoid possible PKI ineffectiveness, a company needs to implement a smart card management system. Let me introduce Indeed Certificate Manager. It is a centralized system used to issue, manage, personalize, and support smart cards and PKI certificates. It is capable of solving a couple of tasks. First of all, it automatically requests and issues the list of certificates according to set policies. It also sends email notifications about certain system events. For example, certificate expiry date. It accounts certificates issued by third parties, allowing adding those certificates to a database and reminding to update them in time. It also sets centralized PIN code and security role policies, controls smart card usage at user's PC, and provides a software interface API to integrate into third-party systems. Indeed Certificate Manager has a number of features that distinguishes it from other card management systems. Apart from the support of a large number of traditional smart cards, for example, produced by Gemalto, HID, or Fitian, Indeed Certificate Manager also supports virtual and network smart cards. We also have a client-side agent that allows controlling smart card usage at the user's workstation. Customization is our top priority. We are ready to add new features if they are required in a project. And also, administrators and users work in a browser with a modern, robust, and understandable interface. It was just a very short introduction of our company, and now we will proceed to the technical demonstration where you will be given a more detailed overview of the system. I'm giving my words to Mr. Nikolay Lazitskiy. He is the, as I told you, he is the leading support engineer. Nikolay, just give me a moment. I will make you a presenter again.
Okay.
Yes, all is done. I think you should be able to. Yes, thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you, Nadia. So now you can see my screen, right?
Yes, it's all available. Thanks.
Brilliant. Okay, so let's start, and I want to start with Indeed CM general scheme. So the main component of this system is Indeed CM server. It links all the system models together, and it is a ASP.NET application operating on Microsoft IIS. Indeed CM server includes administrators and users' web applications and tools that provide with the interface to create smart card usage policies, add and issue smart cards, enroll and update certificates, view events, and system configuration. Besides web applications, Indeed CM server contains services for smart card management and even event logging. Indeed CM data includes information about smart cards, certificates, system settings, and all this data is encrypted, and it can be stored in Microsoft SQL database or in Active Directory. Also, Indeed CM has special connectors to certification authorities like Microsoft CA or CryptoVision Camelot, and also connectors to the user directories like Microsoft Active Directory or any other LDAP directory. Another integration model of Indeed CM is API that's used for smart cards and certificates management from third-party systems. Connector to Indeed Access Manager or Indeed AM automatically adds the smart card issued in Indeed CM into the Indeed CM database, and after that a user can immediately start to use this smart card not only for digital signature operations but also for access to web or desktop applications using Indeed IM Enterprise Single Sign-On. Connector to a special smart card printer makes it possible to issue certificates and write them on the smart cards, as well as personalize these cards by printing a user photo, name, job title, or any other data on that card. Indeed, CM middleware is a client-side software but used for operations that require access to a smart card, like setting and resetting PIN codes, generation of the key pair, writing certificates, initialization, and some others. There are also some special features that can be used with Indeed CM. First of them is Indeed CM client agent that used to control smart card usage on users' workstations. The agent performs the following operations: monitors connected smart cards and sends notifications to the Indeed CM server about unknown smart cards in real time, locks Windows session or a smart card if smart card usage rules are violated. For example, if someone connects his smart card to a workstation that belongs to another employee. It is also makes operations upon administrators request, like change PIN code, lock or unlock smart card, update certificate, or delete all data that stores on the smart card. Another feature is indeed a key enterprise. It is a network smart card that allows users to perform the same operations as a physical smart card does. This network smart card is delivered to a user workstation remotely, and the user does not have obtained the card in person from the system operator. That was a brief description of NDCM models, and now I want to say a few words about my demo environment. Just let me a few seconds. So this is my demo stand. I have two virtual machines joined into domain. So this is Windows-based workstations. Now you can see a server workstation. It has several roles. The first role is a web server, is Internet Information Services. We also have Microsoft SQL database, and as I said, we can store all the data here. And in this configuration, we use Microsoft as storage for Indeed Certificate Manager data. I also have one certification authority. This is Microsoft Enterprise CA. And we will work with users that stored in Active Directory. So we will use it as a user directory. The second workstation emulates administrators or users workplace. So this is Windows 10 machine, and so here we can get access to web applications, to IndeedCM web applications. And today I'll show you how you can use IndeedCM for two-factor authentication that based on smart cards and certificates. So now we are in the management console. I use Internet Explorer to get here, but all other major web browsers are supported, like Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, Microsoft Edge. It's not problem to work in that's web browsers. So let's find the user in the users tab. I should type a part of the username, and the results are shown below. So this is user profile, and here we can see three blocks of information. The first one is user information from Active Directory. So that's photo, all that's data about location, contacts, and so on. The second part is about assigned cards, and there are no assigned cards. So we'll issue a smart card for this user a bit later. And the last part is a section with recent events in IndeedCM that's regarding to my test user. So we can see detailed information about each event. So let's issue smart card. I should click issue smart card, and IndeedCM smart card usage policy is configured for selecting certificates, and so in my case I will choose the smart card logon certificate. Of course, it is possible to configure smart card policy to be with a fixed number of certificates without choosing them here, but in this configuration I will use both of them. So the first will be smart card logon certificate. So let's click next. I have already connected smart card. This is Gmalto ID Prime smart cards. And here I can set some additional options, like comments, and I also can pin some text like authentication. Okay, so now I should click issue to start an issuing process. At this point, system checks the card, creates certificate request, and sends it to the certification authority, where it approves automatically, and then writes the certificates and its private key to a smart card. Of course, it's also possible to configure in DCM for waiting for certificates approval from the CA's operator. But in my case, certificate will be approved automatically. So smart card issuing process can take some time. It depends on the number of the certificates that must be enrolled and on hardware environment such as smart card itself and the smart card reader. So now we are almost done. Let's wait a bit while certificate will be written. Yeah, so now we can see a random pin code because my smart card policy in DCM is configured for generating random user pin codes that consists of 4 digits. Of course, it is also possible to set pin code generation policies according to your security requirements. And you may notice that we have an email notification. This is notification about my smart cards. So here we can see my username, smart card, and its serial number, and that's random pin code. So that's that pin code was shown for me as I am an administrator, and the smart card policy allows me to see that random user pins, and it was also sent by email to the user, and it is also can be printed, for example, on some envelope if necessary. So here is our pin. Let's press close, and so this is again my user profile. Here we can see that there's one smart card, and this smart card is issued. We have one certificate issued by indeed demo CA. The certificate is valid. So I can perform some actions with these cards, like reset user pin, disable these cards, or revoke, and some other actions. We also can see all that additional options that was set before the smart card enrollment. So this comment, this text. And basically this smart card is ready for use, and now I will use it for domain authentication. Now I will lock my session, Windows session, and then unlock it in the smart card and certificates on it. Okay. 6571. Just check it to be sure. Okay. That's done. So this smart card works perfectly. And now I'll show you another scenario. So imagine that I need to add one more certificate to this smart card. Say I need a certificate for email encryption. So I must update my smart card. Let's click update, and here I can select the new certificate that must be enrolled, must be issued and enrolled, and then add it to my smart card. Let's click next. So smart card update is possible in 2 options. The first is a manual update from the administrator's side. In this case, administrator needs a user smart card and the user PIN code. and just press update, set the pin, and click update. And the second option is update using the IndeedCM client agent. In this case, we just create an update task that will be executed on the client machine by the Indeed agent. So, and user provides his PIN code himself. So administrator just creates a task. So let's click update, and here is our update task. Indeed, client agent requests server for the new tasks regularly, and now we should wait a bit until client agent receive this update task from the server, and we can update our smart card. And yeah, so this is the window of IndeedCM client agent, and here we can see that our smart card must be updated. So now I'm, as a user, should provide my user PIN code 6571, and then click update. The certificate requesting process is just the same. So now IndeedCM generates requests to the second certificates, and then this request will be automatically approved on the certification authority, and this certificate will be added to my smart card. We need just wait a bit until the progress bar fills. Yeah, so that's done. My smart card has been successfully updated. Let's click OK and check in administrator's console the actual state. Now we can see that the same smart card contains two certificates. The first was smart card logon, and the second is certificate for email encryption, and it was just issued. Now let's talk about IndeedCM configuration. IndeedCM configuration section contains all major system settings like policy lists, licenses, supported card types, roles, and also tags and some other options. Policy is the main component of the IndeedCM configuration, because each policy contains the list of certification authorities that must be used, and certificate templates for each authority that will be used for certificates enrolling. Also, we have PIN code generation policies and some other options like integration options with card printer, notification options, and many others. And each policy has its own scope. So we say we name it policy links. So it means that that default policy applies for users that are placed in this organizational unit of my domain. So we can apply our policies for objects in Active Directory. In my case, this is organizational unit. We can also add a user group in addition to the container or to the organizational unit. And it means that members of this organizational unit or group can get and use smart cards according to the rules defined in this policy. Another section is roles. Roles can be global, and it means that they applied for any smart card policy in IndeedCM. And roles can be also local. it means that they are applied for certain policies only. For example, local roles can be used to manage smart cards and policies in certain departments of your company, and they will have their own local administrators of these roles. And in each role, you can set a list of privileges for all possible sections of IndeedCM system. So we can define permissions for configuration section, for smart card management, and so on. And you can add single accounts or groups like Active Directory groups in each role. And of course, you can create as many roles as you need for your smart cards workflow in your organization. In card section, we can find information about any smart card and its state. By default, IndeedCM checks connected smart cards and show its state, and so that's why we see that's this is my smart card, and we can see the comments and the policy and the actual state. In advanced tab, we can set additional filters. So, for example, I can search for clean smart cards that are added into IndeedCM and ready for issue. Or another way, I can search for issued smart cards and see the owners of these cards. In event section, we can get reports about all activities in IndeedCM. We can check the detailed information about each event. So now you can see the information about the last action that was performed, that was smart card update using the client agent. It is also possible to search to use filters for searching only for errors and combine these filters with the other filters. And results of each search can be exported into the PDF or CSV files. So that was administrator's console, and now let's talk about self-service web application. So this is a web application for the users where they can see information about their smart cards and make some actions with that smart cards, or even issue smart cards by themselves, because all permissions in self-service are defined in smart card usage policy by the administrator. In my case, I have the maximum privileges, so I can, for example, change my user PIN. I can see the content, so what certificates I have on my card, what's the issuer and what's the actual state. I can also print certificates or certificate requests by myself if needed. And as I say, so if I have an empty card, I can issue this card for myself using this self-service web application. So let's imagine that I lost my card and I can send request to the administrator and on the IndeedCM server that my card must be revoked because it's lost. Now the state of the card is revoked, and if we check the content, we can also see that both certificates are revoked because the key is compromised. And let's check from the administrator side profile of my user. So actually the same information. So about the card, about the certificates. In this scenario, so the last thing that administrator can do is withdraw this card from the user, and then the user will be given for the new cards. So by the administrator, or it can issue this card by himself in self-service application. So that was a few basic scenarios in DCM. If you are interested in our solution, please let us know, and we'll make a webinar for your company and show all other features of DCM, like network smart cards or virtual smart cards, or we can show unlocking scenarios, how it can be in different ways from the user side or from the administrator side. So now I'm glad to answer to your questions. Please feel free to ask.
Nikolay, there is one question. Could you please pay attention to more?
Yeah, just a second. Yes, about supported smart cards. Yeah, so NDCM can work with different types of the smart cards of different vendors. So this is not full list of the supported smart cards, but actually we can support any smart card in a short so we can support any smart card. It takes usually maybe 2 weeks to add any card with any vendor in our system. So, and it's we usually do it like a support service, so you do not pay for any new smart cards that must be supported in our system. So we support all major smart card vendors like Gemalto, like HID. We also support Camelot's universal middleware that supports more than 90 smart cards of different vendors.
Nikolay, there is also a very long question. Like there are a number of questions. Could you please pay attention to it? The first part has been already answered regarding the supported smart cards and vendors, and also as you can see, we can start with, does customer need any CV already installed from vendor or smart card?
Yeah, so our solution available as well as for smart cards and also for USB tokens. So the issuing process will be the same, and all other actions are the same. And now I'll show you just a second. I guess I have one smart card. Yeah, so this is you can see this icon with the USB. So this is SafeNet eToken Pro in a USB, and we also have support for smart cards from Fractor as well.
Nikolay, I think you can also show on our website the list of hardware supported by IndeedCM, so that our visitors can take a look at it, like smart card printers, smart card readers, and smart cards. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, so this is the list of hardware. So there are not only smart cards, but also the models supported smart card readers and printers. So we can support also, we can work also with the HSM stores as well. And also we can easily support any hardware that you use in your company. Yeah, so I see the question about the operating systems and about the licenses. So I will start with the second part. So now we support Windows platform, Windows Workstation as a server, and smart cards that issued with Indeed CM, so they can be used in any other operating system. So you can use the certificate issued in Indeed CM in Linux and Mac. It doesn't matter, but the server side must be on the Windows platform. And so about licenses, Nadia, could you please help me with this question?
Subscription. So
Nadia, it seems that we don't hear you. Nadia, can you hear me?
what if customers has some vendor cards? Excuse me, can you hear me, Nikolay? Is the sound clear?
Yeah, now it's clear.
Okay, I will repeat one more time. Our licensing policy is subscription based. We are ready to give precise prices for a project. So if you are interested in it, please let us know, and we will make a commercial proposal and technical proposal very soon. I also see one of the questions that you haven't answered. What if customer has some vendor cards or tokens that you do not support? Oh yeah, Nikolay told about it. We will support it within 2 weeks with testing period. And there is also a very extended question. Does customer need any SW already installed from vendor of smart cards that they are using, or you can start from point zero only with smart cards and then your CV can do everything?
It depends on the used smart cards. For example, with SafeNet cards, we can, with the Gmalta ID Prime and SafeNet cards, we use SafeNet clients. So we use drivers from the manufacturer. But for example, as I said, we support CryptoVision's universal middleware that supports as well the ID Prime, smart cards, and some other vendors. And in this case, we do not need any other software from the manufacturer. So we can use this one middleware for great number of the smart cards.
Also, I see a question from Daniel. Daniel, we license per user. Servers are not subject to licensing, only users. And of course, like the number of years. You can buy subscription for a year, for 3 years, or for more years. So I think at the moment we have answered all the questions. We can wait for like maybe a one minute for other questions. Maybe there is our listeners require some time to type the question. So I suggest waiting for a little bit. So I guess what are your main competitive advantages? Main competitive advantages, you know, it would be a little bit complicated at this point to describe all of them, because usually we compare us in a specific project. We can, as we told you, we can work with unlimited list of devices, smart cards, smart card token, smart card printers, also different virtual and network smart cards. Also, we offer prices that are usually lower than the market value. Another big advantage is that we are ready to address to any issue of our clients. So basically, if the project is complicated, if it requires to add some additional features to the existing functionality of our products, we are ready to consider it and to adapt it to the system. I think you must know that usually if we speak of a larger organizations, the infrastructure and the tasks are very complicated, and the system needs to be very flexible and adaptive, and our system is of that kind. And we also have a client-side agent that helps to monitor users' actions with the smart card. It also keeps event logs, and it somehow delegates a number of tasks from the administrators to the users. Yeah, and that's a very useful thing to do. But as I already told you, it is these are just some general competitive advantages. It would be better, you know, to compare us to some other vendors in a specific project, so that you could see what we can do and what other vendors cannot do. I think we should wait a little bit more for some questions to come, if there will be any. Oh, and I also remembered about another one. We usually make releases of new versions like every 4 months. So the system is constantly being updated with new functionality. So the abilities of the systems are always growing. So I think it's also another advantage of our system. So I guess there are no more questions coming. In case you require any additional information, or you would like to see a more specific webinar, and if you would like to know whether we can answer your tasks or not, we are always ready to support you with that. We will send you, as I told you, we will send you the video of the conference, and also at the end there will be a very short poll, and we would be very glad to receive your feedback. This will be the end of our presentation. So thank you very much for coming, and I hope we will be in touch soon.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to show you our products. So have a nice day. Goodbye.
Goodbye.